Okay, so we're back here with Thomas. We're just commenting about how, because I'm like in front of the camera, look how tiny Thomas is. I mean, compared to me, it's like when you're holding the Eiffel Tower, like in your hand.
I know. You should be holding me.
I should be holding your up. This is so stupid. Okay. All right. So we tried this thing over here, the Green Joy
Hydroponic growing station.
Hydroponic growing station. Thomas, like, just talk through really quickly what happened.
It was all fun and games at first.
Yeah.
Let me,
full of hope.
Full of hope. Let's see. At first, I heard Leia, because I was operating at nighttime, because I didn't want to be bright during the day, because this is also my office time during the work from home season that we're all going through. And I'm hearing this sound like someone's peeing on the first floor. So I walk down and go, who's peeing in the toilet at 2 in the morning? And I hear that it's this, and read the directions, and I'm like, oh, you gotta add water to it. So then of course I add more water to it. So that's all the peeing sound. It was great for the first week, because then I saw the seeds sprout, germinate, and it was really fun to look at that. And then life happened. And with kids and everything else, completely forgot to add the water to the seeds or the germinated seeds, and then I did that, but that was still good. And then over time, maybe about 2 weeks passed, and I noticed a fly in the water reservoir.
Because it's open.
Yeah,
like,
it's right.
The way it worked was that these holes are all open, and so there's an opening to the water that's down there. So the ones that aren't plugged up are just totally wide open.
But see, this whole thing was here, and generally, as you can tell, in my defense, you couldn't really see much of what was going on, except for the fly that I saw floating around in the water.
Yeah.
And of course, again, with my little boy distracting me, I completely forget about the fly. So my child also does his virtual learning here, and he's complaining about mosquito bites. I'm thinking, where are these mosquitoes coming from? So I'm going around and I see mosquitoes in the bedroom, and I'm like, okay, they probably just left the door open. It's mosquito season. And then I thought about the fly for a second, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's still water. So I go take this off, everyone's gone to bed, and I just see a bunch of mosquito larvae swimming around.
Not good.
It wasn't good.
It's like, you want to grow plants, not bugs.
Exactly.
Not blood-sucking bugs.
So I'm sure in the directions it says clean the water once every 3 days or something like that, or empty it out. But I'll tell you this, once we figured out the map, which, hold on, if I can pull it out.
There's like a whole algorithm, a whole workflow of how you're able to determine.
Oh, yeah. So this is the algorithm.
So you have to figure out where you are in this map, and then depending on what you do, sends you to another place. So wherever you want to go, you need to figure out where you are. Almost like one of those maps. You are here, like at the mall, and you're trying to get to Hot Topic or whatever, or the food court.
Oh, yeah, good for you, man.
Hey, that's the last time I was in a mall was when Hot Topic was a thing. Is that even a thing? It might still be a thing. Who knows?
Anchor Blue, that's the last time I've been in the mall.
I'll just put it this way. Last time I went clothes shopping, Mervyn's was a thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No, I've got a couple of things.
Open.
Oh, my gosh.
But anyway, so once I figured that out, like, where am I on that map? I go, okay, there's a little clean feature. So then I hit the algorithm, and then the pump worked, everything. It's so convenient having this next to a drain.
Yeah, seriously.
I know it's like a bucket, but this saved me an extra step. And so had the drain going, and all the little larvae, the dead flies, got sucked into the pump filter, clogged up the pump, and I had to take the pump apart, clean it up a little bit, and then recontinue. But the annoying part of that, it was that once the water got low and then the pump got moved, then it reset the sensor and it went into low water mode, so it turned off the pump. So I have to keep the sensor still for it to go through that full cycle of cleaning and draining.
Hey, let me just boil it down to this. This thing is not actually that great.
Okay, for me at least, okay, my thing was, okay, read the directions first of all. And it's labor intensive. It just seems like there's a lot of care as opposed to growing it outside.
Well,
and
look,
I just water and let
the idea for this is that you've got something that's indoors that isn't going to be eaten by pests, unless you consider your kids pests. And there's an automated thing. You don't have to worry about coming through and like throwing some water on the seeds to make them germinate. The problem is that the method that they use to start the seeds with those little sponges over there requires a lot more intervention than, let's say, the Aerogarden. The Aerogarden, you've got those little pods. You're able to replace those pods. There aren't any openings. You can have enough to like seal everything off. And it truly was, when we had an Aerogarden, was really, really easy to use. Mm-hmm. This is not easy to use compared to an Aerogarden. And so I would say, and they have Aerogardens that have roughly similar growing space also with LED now. So this thing costs as much as an Aerogarden does. This does have the advantage of stacking. So if you're wanting to do that sort of thing and you need a system that stacks and you want it to be automated, then this kind of thing could work. But having used an Aerogarden and the fact that you're not saving really any or much money going with a system like this, I think that this is something, if you're looking for something, I'd look at an Aerogarden over something like this. I might even include like a link to an Aerogarden that might be a good equivalent for this in the link below. Something to consider, like I'll even do a link to this Green Joy just so you can check it out and see if maybe other people, maybe we're just being overly harsh on it, but I don't know, like you want to get something that's going to make this an easier process, and it just felt like it was more involved than it needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been the fact that given the variables that I deal with is I work from home, I got kids that I have to 3 under 6, right? And I did not give the time that this needs to be completely successful.
Yeah, although this type of thing honestly is supposed to be geared toward somebody who is busy, who's got that stuff going on. It's supposed to be doing the thinking for you, the watering, the upkeep, so that way you don't have to think twice about it. Yeah, and that didn't happen in this case.
Us being attacked by mosquitoes is terrible.
Although, in its favor, the Aerogarden wouldn't have been able to be used as a mosquito breeding ground.
That is true.
So if you're like going for mosquitoes, then this is the thing for you.
Mosquitoes, yeah, malaria.
I mean, we're probably not being that nice about it. Out of 10, this gets maybe a 6. Okay. I don't want to say a 0 because I suppose for the right person, this might be okay. But there are just some real downsides. Again, as I mentioned when we were setting it up, I don't like that the top isn't adjustable. I don't like that there are openings there. I don't like that you have to start the seeds in a separate tray before you can put them in with the automatic watering. I don't like that you have to have water in the bottom part before you have the seeds in there, because that's going to be what turns the stuff on. It's just kind of a convoluted thing. So for the money, get an Aerogarden. If you want some additional excitement in your life, then maybe get one of these things. But hate to say Green Joy, but maybe go back to the drawing board. Maybe version 2.0 will be better.
Yeah. If you can add more of these to cover up the holes,
yes,
to prevent the mosquitoes going in, fantastic.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been a unique look at this product. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Busy Gardener, where we looked at the Green Joy hydroponic growing station. Sorry that it didn't pan out. We'll put a link to it so you can just check it out and see what other people have said about it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, this would be a good time to do it.
Where do they point? Where do you point to?
Down there. Right there. Gently. Like treat the button like a seedling and just caress it with your mouse. And you can hit the caress is a weird word. Now we know what we're cutting out of this. But now's a good time to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. That'd be awesome. And hey, whether you've got one failed vegetable growing appliance in your office or 500, until next time, stay busy.